Black Dynamite Episode 3 review. Richard Pryor for the win. Richard Pryor for the win. So let's go ahead and focus on the plot. Just go ahead and get into this. I'm super excited to review this episode. Oh my gosh, like this is one of the best episodes I've seen of Black Dynamite. So the plot deals with Black Dynamite, and he owes back taxes to the IRS for $60,000. You could already imagine just by hearing the plot from what I'm saying that this is going to be hard for him to accumulate this much money to pay the taxes. So what he does is, when the episode starts off, he's kind of skeptical on, what am I going to do to get this money to pay the IRS back, these taxes, because it's a huge amount. What am I going to do? So he goes back to his apartment, and, he meets a couple of his friends, and these are the main characters, and they say, well, we've got some of our adult porn stars, and, they've helped us accumulate $60,000 for you to pay back. What does he do? Black Dynamite, being the cocky person he is, he rips up the money and says, no, I'm not taking this. I'm going to get my money my own way, and it's either my way or it's the highway. I'm not taking any money from these people, so they can go back and do whatever they're doing. So, it flashes forward a little bit, and you see that Black Dynamite meets this guy, who, is a real sharp fellow, white suit, clean dude, looks nice, looks like a kind of a pin player, one of those guys, a kingpin, I guess you could say, who, runs a lot, he runs a lot of establishments and stuff like that. Anyway, he tells Black Dynamite, he says, hey man, guess what, I got a deal for you, man. If you can take care of Richard Pryor and get him to the Sunset Strip, I will give you $60,000 to pay for your IRS tax statements. So, Black Dynamite says, okay, well, that's cool. I'll take that offer, but I'm kind of skeptical about doing it. I don't know who this guy is, but I know he's obviously a comedian from what this guy's telling me. So, him and Richard Pryor pretty much hit it off. Him and Black Dynamite pretty much hit it off. They hit it off very well. Unfortunately, they go to jail for some reason. I think it was for yeah, that's right. It was for shooting a tire off the cop. They go to jail, and, Richard Pryor, he starts to notice that people don't take him seriously. They view him as a comedian, and that's it. They don't view him as a man, just a comedian, someone to laugh at, someone not to take serious. This is the first time that I see in the episodes that I've watched that Black Dynamite has a heart. He's really sensitive, and he says, stop making fun of him. I hate to see a man crying. That's what he tells, Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor's like, thanks, man. Thanks so much. I really don't see that a lot. People viewing me as a man instead of a comedian. So, Black Dynamite also starts to learn that this guy is a cocaine fiend. So he does cocaine. Richard Pryor does cocaine, stuff like that. And, he does drugs a lot. And, that's kind of, because Black Dynamite doesn't really do that, but he does it. And it's like kind of conflicting between the two. They really don't know, he doesn't know how to handle that situation. So, flashing back, not flashback, but flashing forward, Black Dynamite actually gets him to the Sunset Strip. And when he gets him to the Sunset Strip, the kingpin that I was telling you about actually wants him to go in to the establishment, not to perform outside. He wants him to go into the establishment. Richard Pryor told him, no, I'm fine right here. This is what I'm going to do. It's either my way or the highway. And, Black Dynamite was like, well, hey, can I get my money? It was kind of clicking between the three. Kingpin, the guy told him, no, Black Dynamite, you're not going to get the money until he goes into the establishment and performs. And so anyway, more of the story is, since Black Dynamite taught Richard Pryor how to be a man and just how to be serious and for people to actually respect him as being much more than a comedian, he actually gives him a check for $60,000. This is actually something that he gives, well, actually not gives. You can just pretty much say he gives to the IRS, and the whole thing is pretty much said and done there. And so that's basically where the episode ends off right there, and that's pretty much the review of the episode 3. Now, there's some funny parts that happen in the episode, and there's some characters that I want to touch on. The two characters that I want to touch on in this episode are Black Dynamite and Richard Pryor. And I have my notes right here. Richard Pryor obviously was very funny in this episode. There was a scene when he was in jail, and, it was the part that I was telling you. He was shook, he was shaken up. He was like, he was crying a little bit and everything, and people were just laughing at him, like, because don't take him serious as a man, take him serious as a comedian. So that part was really funny. I laughed at that, and but at the same time, it was kind of sad. So I don't know, but it was just awesome. It was just awesome. And then when the IRS people came, they were just talking a whole bunch of stuff about how he needs to pay the taxes on time. Black Dynamite was just thinking, man, I just got to get him to the Sunset Strip. I'm not worried about anything you're talking about. And, you know, it was just so funny to see how the IRS was just rambling on about nothing, you know, just about getting the money. And Black Dynamite was just thinking about, I got to get this guy to the Sunset Strip as soon as possible. So it was just so funny seeing, you know, just the interconnections between these characters, between Richard Pryor, the IRS, Black Dynamite, and his friends. And just, this episode was just awesome. It was just so well made, so well put together. And I think it was the funniest episode yet. I really enjoyed it. So, man, like I said, good episode. Really enjoyed it. I hope you guys definitely check it out. Episode 3 review of Black Dynamite, entitled Taxes and Death. So it's been my review of episode 3. Leave your comments, rate, subscribe, because I will be doing more Black Dynamite episode reviews. So, and I'll catch you guys later in another video. Peace, guys. Take care.